Hi folks, I'm Chris and welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you have been on previous videos or seen previous videos, I hope you've thought about liking the video, perhaps even subscribing, and watching other videos that we've got here on the channel. So let's dive in today. We've got a subject which is an important subject. And that's insurance. I never thought I would say that insurance was an interesting subject, but an important subject definitely is an important subject. If you live in the United States, or anywhere for that matter, there are times when insurance is a necessary evil. And I say that because it's not something that we want to have. We certainly don't want to have to pay for it, because insurance of all types is pretty expensive. Well, it can be at least. A lot of factors play into that, and it can really drive up the cost of what you pay for your insurance. There are various types of insurance which all of us should consider having. Car insurance, life insurance, and renter's insurance, personal property insurance, pet insurance. I don't necessarily have pet insurance or need it, but if you have a pet and you really think that you want to have your pet last as long as possible as part of your family, pet insurance might be needed. And the big one is flood insurance. And you're probably thinking, why do I need flood insurance? Well, at the time of the making of this video, there are a lot of flooding issues going on in the southeastern part of the United States. From the recent storm that came ashore, Florida, Georgia, parts of North Carolina, Tennessee even. A lot of people have had their lives just absolutely devastated. Because of the flooding, they've lost their homes, they've lost businesses, they've lost the ability to have the livelihood to provide for their families. And here on the channel, since we talk a lot about freedom and about finances, that type of a flooding issue devastates both of those types of things. So let's talk about that for just a minute. The whole purpose of today's video is to talk about insurance, and not necessarily the why, but how. Insurance is like anything else. You have to shop around, okay? You shouldn't just go out and look for it and find the place that is closest to your house or the place that has the nicest web page, and then just send them your credit card number and say, bill me, because never is that a good thing. If you want the best insurance, it's like anything else, whether it's flood or car insurance or home insurance or renter's insurance, you have to shop around. It's just like going to a grocery store. If you're really looking for that special item for dinner tonight and one store doesn't have it, then you're going to have to go to another one. And the same is much the same could be said for insurance. If you're looking at one company that provides insurance and they have a product that, yeah, it might do what you need to do, but is it priced right for you? Okay, not for everybody, but for you, because it's supposed to serve you. Okay, if it doesn't provide all of the aspects of the insurance that you're trying to get coverage for, then likewise, you need to go and shop around and find another company that will provide you the product that you need at the price that you can afford, that will provide the coverages that you need. Those three things, okay? Now, is every insurance company going to be the same? No, I've just said that. They are not going to be the same. They are not going to provide you the same type or amount of coverage, and certainly not for the same amount of dollars or the same amount of British pounds or Mexican pesos or whatever the case may be. Okay, I think you understand that. So when you go to shop around, make sure that you understand what you need. Don't get talked into a plan that doesn't provide you the coverage you need, doesn't provide you the ability to actually pay for it. Insurance is expensive in the United States particularly, so it's very important to shop around. Does that mean you shouldn't have coverage? No, doesn't mean that at all. It means that you have to shop around, okay? Certain types of insurance you have to have. You know, regardless of where you live in the world, if you have an automobile that you drive regularly, you're pretty much required to have insurance. Does it behoove you to shop around for car insurance? Yeah, of course. So why wouldn't you shop around for any other type of insurance, including flood insurance, okay? Now, in certain parts of the United States, they have whole swaths of states, counties, cities that are considered part of a floodplain. Now, as a real estate agent, I deal with that regularly. Homes that people want to buy are required to have flood insurance. Now, flood insurance is expensive because there's only one place where you can buy it, and that happens to be from the government, okay? So they're going to charge you a pretty penny, arm and leg kind of thing. There are other types of insurance which you are not required to have, and you could probably get away with not having it, like renter's insurance, pet insurance. But if you're driving a car or you own a home, you're probably going to want to have that insurance. Now, let's talk about flood insurance particularly and why it's important. Flood insurance, just like regular home insurance, is generally required if you have a loan on that item from a bank or a credit union, as the case may be. So if you have a loan from a bank on your home, you are going to be required to have homeowner's insurance. Why? It's not really to cover you, it's to cover the lender, okay? It's there to cover them so that if you burn your house down while you're barbecuing in the backyard, or let's say someone breaks in the house and whatever happens and the house just gets destroyed because of that for some odd reason, it is not there to cover you as much as it is there to cover the lender, okay? And the same goes for flood insurance. Flood insurance is not to cover you, the homeowner. It's there to cover whomever is the lender. Now, some people might say, well, that's kind of crazy, but it really covers the homeowner. Well, okay, it covers the homeowner, but it's really meant to cover the lender, the mortgage company that provides you the money to buy that home. Now, let's face it, homes these days are not cheap. I mean, I don't care where in the United States you live. If you want to buy a home and it's of any size whatsoever, and it's in a condition that you can live in it, it's generally going to be expensive, okay? And 9.99% of every 10 people is going to have to take out a loan from a lender, a mortgage lender, and whether that's a bank or a credit union or whatever the case may be, they're going to have to take out that loan in order to purchase that house, okay? Again, you got to have the insurance. And even if you don't buy a home, let's just say you rent an apartment, rent a house somewhere, you need renter's insurance because the landlord or the owner of that property is going to have insurance to cover his home while you're living there in it. But that insurance does not cover your personal belongings, doesn't cover your car, okay? You gotta have car insurance for that. It doesn't cover your computers, your linens, your furniture, your computers, all those kind of things. You have to have renter's insurance to cover that if you want it to be covered. Now, if you don't want to get reimbursed for anything that's stolen, broken, or lost in a fire or a flood, don't buy it. It's up to you. You don't have to have it for that. Okay, it's not like owning the house. It's not like owning the car. You can get away without it. Flood insurance, though, if you live in a floodplain and you have a mortgage, you have to have it. Again, it's more to cover the mortgage company rather than you. But likewise, flood insurance, just like home insurance, you have to periodically update it, typically every year or as necessary. You should go in and you could upgrade or update your coverages. If your house goes up in value and you haven't updated it in 20 years, guess what? You're going to get reimbursed at a level that was put into the system 20 years ago. It doesn't matter what the value is, it's what you're paying for coverage. So every year or every time something major happens, let's say you pay an extra $30,000 to get your kitchen redone, and $30,000, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, that makes me choke. How would I pay $30,000 for a kitchen? If you have a kitchen renovation done in 2024, it's going to be expensive. I don't care what you do to it, it's going to be very costly, okay, to renovate your kitchen. Same thing if you're redoing all your flooring. Flooring is not cheap. Put a roof on your house, oh my gosh, that's just totally crazy how much it costs to get just a plain roof put on a house. It's crazy. So you need to update those coverages regularly or as needed, okay? It will benefit you in the long run, so that if something were to happen and you needed to have your home fixed or repaired or totally rebuilt from the ground up, you have the coverage available to you, so that you don't have to go out and take out some kind of a personal loan from another bank or another mortgage company or a credit union to be able to pay towards, and I say towards for a reason, to pay towards the rebuilding of that home. If you haven't updated your home insurance in quite some time, I would say that based on the way the market's been in the last couple of years across the entire United States, your home is likely worth maybe double what you had valued that home at, or the mortgage lender or the banker may have valued your home at just 2 or 3 years ago. It's probably doubled. And if your home were destroyed in a flood, or it was destroyed by a fire or something along those lines, and you had to totally rebuild it, you would be in big trouble. Unless you've got a lot of money put aside somewhere in a bank or in mutual funds or in a certificate of deposit somewhere, and you can have ready access to that money, you're gonna have a hard time paying for that. So I don't want to drag the video out. It's important to understand and know, again, because of the flooding that's going on across the southeastern part of the United States right now, and has been for about the last week. At the time of the making of this video, those people are in a lot of pain personally. Their finances may be in a lot of danger from the standpoint that they may not have any. They may not have the money available to cover, to rebuild, to put their lives back together by rebuilding their homes and their businesses and taking care of their families. A lot of those people are just going to be devastated. The economy has not been great, and people have had to defer a lot of things when it comes to being able to eat versus taking medicine or buying new clothes. Things have to give, and things take priority over others. I don't want you to think that this is a doom and gloom video, because it's not. It's meant to simply point out that you need to consider those things And whether you can pay for them or not, that's a personal decision. It's not a decision I can make for you. It's a decision that you have to make for yourself. And I hope and I pray that you are able to take care of those things that you need to do to take care of yourself and your families. So, that's all for today. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.